Welcome to the Pixelcast Media pregame report on the Concho Sports Network. We are live from the Lakeview High School baseball field, where tonight it's the 9-5 Lakeview Chiefs. They will take on the 8-10 Levelland Lobos in district play. For Lakeview, they are in the 4A Region 1 District 3 with that 9-5 record, 2-1 in district play, 2-0 at home. On last Tuesday, they lost at Snyder 12-4. For the Chiefs, they're led by first-year head coach Jace Hall. Meanwhile, for the Lobos of Levelland, they are 8-10 on the year, 1-2 in district play, 1-3 on the road. They are directed by also first-year head coach Chris Hortwood. The officials for tonight's game, the home plate umpire is Ryan Gill. The first base umpire is Doc Schultz. The Lakeview coach, Jace Hall, in his first season, he is a graduate from Friendship High School, played his junior college ball at Clarendon College, played his university baseball at the University of the Southwest. He loves Lakeview, and in our pregame chat earlier today, he said that the young scholars are excited about playing. He said that the main thing for the players is to play under control in tonight's game. Earlier today, the Lakeview JV team defeated Levelland by a score of 7-3. While we have a moment, let's give you tonight's starting lineups. First for Levelland, for the Lobos. Leading off will be the pitcher, Joe Pena. Batting second and left field is Marco Gillian. Hitting third at center field is Blake Klaus. Hitting fourth, the catcher is Rusty Johnson. Batting fifth, the shortstop is Tyler Morrow. Hitting sixth at first base is Tyler Pemberton. Hitting seventh at third base is Jerry Hale. Hitting eighth at second base is Wyatt Bacchus, and batting ninth in right field is Dylan Brogdon. While for the Chiefs defense, from left to right, from the outfield to the infield, the left fielder is Alex Palacio. The center fielder is the younger brother, Wyatt Henry of the Henry brothers. The right fielder is Joseph Coffron. The third baseman is Isaiah Cruz. The shortstop is Nico Bustamante. The second baseman is Jacob Chapa. Jacob Chapa is an all-sport athlete. Also played on the football team, one of the stars for the Lakeview Chiefs this past fall. And at first base is Oscar Obergeron. And behind the plate is J.D. Salgado. J.D. Salgado also played on the football team. He was the star linebacker. And the starting pitcher tonight is senior pitcher Cade Henry. Cade Henry is 3-0 on the year. He was the star quarterback for the Lakeview Chiefs this past season. Let's give you the Lakeview offense, their batting order. Leading off will be Wyatt Henry, the center fielder. Cade Henry, the pitcher, bats second. Hitting third at the hot corner is Isaiah Cruz. Batting fourth in a cleanup position is Nico Bustamante. Hitting fifth, the first baseman, is Oscar Obergeron. Batting sixth at second base is Jacob Chapa. Hitting seventh in left field is Alex Palacio. Hitting eighth, the catcher is J.D. Salgado, and batting ninth in right field is Joseph Cafran. So for Lakeview, on this home game on this Tuesday, with that record of 9-5 on the year, 2-1 in district play, 2-0 at home. It's a very windy day in San Angelo. The wind is blowing straight out into center field. That did affect our camera view in our pregame, so we'll hope we'll have the full camera display for you, my friends, on the pregame show in this district matchup between Lakeview and Levelland. So we'll take a short time out. This is Lakeview Chiefs football on Pixelcast Media.
8611 for affordable drinking water.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
At San Angelo ISD, We believe that students are more than just a test score.
We value the hopes and dreams of each child.
And work diligently to enhance student learning and reduce achievement gaps.
To produce future-ready graduates.
No matter what that future might look like.
By honoring each student's unique strengths and supporting their individual needs, we celebrate all the ways.
All of the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways. Todas las formas.
All the ways.
We celebrate all the ways our students are smart.
Hey, I'm open.
At VGI Technology, our mission is to connect and protect our communities using innovative technologies while providing an exceptional customer experience. Everyone on our team took part in creating this mission statement, and everyone on our team is committed to stand by every word. So for your home and office internet, security, cameras, and smart technology, call on your neighbors at locally owned VGI. VGI, to connect and protect.
At Medical Arts, your pharmacists are still people who know you. We care about you and your family. That's a relationship that can be helpful to you in so many ways. We're glad to offer curbside pickup anytime it's easier for you to stay in the car. We still proudly offer home delivery, as we have since 1957. But we admit, we like it best when you can come in, so we can visit. Medical Arts Pharmacy, the pharmacist next door. 2102 Pecos, 325-949-4636.
At Concho Bonds, we have an honest, friendly, and professional staff with over 40 years of experience. We understand that if you or a loved one needs our help, you want fast and efficient service that you can trust. That's why at Concho Bonds, we are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with easy payment plans, and we accept all major credit cards. Y habla español. At Concho Bonds, it is better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Welcome back to Lakeview Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. If you'd like to boost your brand with video or need your live event streamed, contact us at 325-261-0651. At Pixelcast Media, we are San Angelo's live stream experts, so give us a call. The first inning is brought to you by Concho Bail Bonds. The starting pitchers to tonight's game brought to you by Angelo MMA Mixed Martial Arts and Fitness. For the Lakeview Chiefs will be senior right-hander Cade Henry. He is 3-0 on the season. Also was the star quarterback for the Lakeview Chiefs this past fall. While for the Lobos of Levelland, they'll have Joe Pena on the hill for the Lobos in tonight's game. We also have some minor technical difficulties with our outfield camera, so we apologize for that due to the strong winds in the San Angelo area on this Tuesday evening. We're glad to bring you another edition of local high school sports. Tonight it is the Lakeview Chiefs on Pixelcast Media. The producer, director, the person that runs the ship for us tonight and each and every night is Mr. Shea Harris. We thank Mr. Harris for all of his hard work each and every day on Pixelcast Media, Concho Sports. So we're about ready to begin for the Levelland Lobos. They will first come up the bat. Joe Pena, the batter, the pitcher. So it's a pitcher against pitcher matchup to begin things against Cade Henry. Cade Henry the older brother of the Henry brothers, Wyatt. The younger brother is the starting center fielder. Here is the first pitch. That is upstairs for ball one. We are underway on this Tuesday evening. Glad that you're with us on Pixelcast Media in this district matchup between Lakeview and the Lobos of Levelland. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a pitch upstairs. Runs the count, 2 balls and no strikes. 320 down to left and the right field lines. 309 in straightaway center at the Lakeview baseball field. Here is the 2-0 pitch. That's a curveball called strike. 2 balls and a strike is the count to Pena, the pitcher. He'll be followed by Marco Gillian, the left fielder, and then Blake Klaus, the center fielder. The top 3 men in the lineup against Cade Henry. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lakeview, they are once again 9-5 entering tonight, while for the Lobos, they are 8-10. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's fouled out of play, first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We also like to thank Michael Weiss, the sports information director for the Lobos, with his outstanding information prior to our broadcast. Mr. Weiss is actually located outside to our right. The 2-2 pitch is line foul down the left field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count to the leadoff hitter, Joe Pena, the pitcher, in a pitcher against pitcher matchup to begin things. It's very rare to see a pitcher as the leadoff hitter, but that shows the confidence that the Lobos have in Joe Pena, the pitcher and the leadoff hitter. 2-2 pitch, that's a curveball down and in, runs the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, for the Lakeview Scholars, just coming off their spring break. Last week was their spring break in the San Angelo area. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That's a pop fly. Salgado sheds the mask. That will bend out of play behind home plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the leadoff hitter, Joel Pena, is working against Cade Henry, working deep into the count. There's the 3-2 pitch. That's fouled back to the screen once again. Count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. We also like to thank the assistant principal of Lakeview High School, Mr. Ben Lyons, who was up here earlier prior to our broadcast. It's good to see the administration up here earlier. And also the young scholars that we have here at Lakeview. They plan to graduate in May. It's great to see young scholars achieving the best in the classroom and also having future plans. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That's a fastball low at inside ball 4. So Cade Henry issues a leadoff walk to Joe Pena. So for the Lobos, our leadoff runner is at first. This brings up Marco Gillian, the left fielder. Just underway. Top of the first. No outs, no score in this district matchup between the Chiefs and the Lobos of Levelland. Marco Gillian climbs into the right side of the box. Pena dives back to the bag. Well, since the wind is blowing out, we'll see if the baseball will carry tonight. The first pitch is a curveball called strike to Marco Gillian, the left fielder. The scholars at Lakeview High School now entering their final 9 weeks of the academic year and the quarter, so that's a pretty big 9 weeks for them with the end of the year exams, the research projects going on. So it's pretty key for the scholars. Also, for many of them, the seniors, waiting for words from their colleges. There's the 0-1 pitch, is a called swing and a miss and a strike, and Pena was caught stealing on the play. No balls and 2 strikes. It's a count to Gillian. Fine throw by J.D. Salgado. Pena was caught stealing second base. So there is 1 out. Bases clean. 0-2 is the count to Marco Gillian. No score. So So the Lakeview defense, they get out the lead runner. Leadoff man, Joe Pena, he is out. Here is the 0-2 pitch. That's a fastball upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Blake Klaus, the center fielder, waits on deck. Very windy here at Lakeview Field. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Gillian strikes out. For Cade Henry, that's K number 1. 2 outs, bases empty. Off that 1-2 breaking ball pitch. This brings up Blake Klaus, the center fielder. That is a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout, the first of the game for starting pitcher Cade Henry. Blake Klaus, the center fielder. 2 outs, bases empty. Top half of the first, no score. Here's the first pitch. That's a curveball upstairs for ball 1. We do see some of the Lakeview faithful with their blankets to our left and also to our right. The 1-0 pitch goes to the backstop, 2 balls and no strikes. The Levelland players, they had a half day of school today, left at around midday. In talking to their coaching staff, talking to the players, said they were very excited to have a half day. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's a curveball, caught strike on the inside part of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Entering the latter part of March, very windy day in San Angelo. There is the 2-1 pitch. It's fouled back to the screen. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We hope that the young scholars at Lakeview High School had a wonderful spring break, a chance for them to catch up on their reading. There's the 2-2 pitch. That's a curveball upstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Perhaps work on their future plans. 3 balls, 2 strikes is the count to Blake Klaus, the center fielder. It's a pop fly twisting down the left field line. Palacio giving chase. He drops the baseball to try to make that backhanded catch down the left field line. The count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Blake Klaus, the center fielder. The officials once again, Ryan Gill is behind the plate. Doc Schultz is down the first base line. We thank them for taking time out of their busy schedules to come officiate this game today of the high school scholars. There's the 3-2 pitch. That's a swing and a pop fly. Right side of the infield, Kid Henry is there, but making a catch is Oscar Obergeron. The first baseman makes the catch to retire to side. So forth, the Lobos in the first. No runs, no hits. Pena was caught stealing, no errors. We'll go into the last half of the first. It's Levelland 0, and the Chiefs will come up to bat. We'll take a short break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex, 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
At San Angelo ISD, we believe that students are more than just a test score.
We value the hopes and dreams of each child.
And work diligently to enhance student learning and reduce achievement gaps.
To produce future-ready graduates.
No matter what that future might look like.
By honoring each student's unique strengths and supporting their individual needs, we celebrate all the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways. Todas las
always.
We celebrate all the ways our students are smart.
Hey, I'm open.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. For the Lobos in that top half of the first against the starting pitcher, Cade Henry. 3 batters climbed to the box. Joe Pena walked, was caught stealing second. Gillian struck out, and Blake Klaus popped out to the first baseman to retire the side. For Lakeview in this last half of the first, Wyatt Henry, the center fielder, he will lead it off for the Chiefs in their first plate appearance of the inning. And the first pitch is a curveball inside, ball 1. Wyatt Henry will be followed by his brother, Cade Henry, the pitcher, and then Isaiah Cruz, the top 3 men in the lineup against Joel Pena. He is a right-hander for the Lobos. The 1-0 pitch is a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count to Wyatt Henry. Had a chance to talk with Wyatt Henry before our broadcast. He said that he was always being ribbed by his older brother, Cade Henry, but they are very close. The 1-1 pitch is chopped foul out of third, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And talking about Cade Henry, he said that his brother is actually looking at ASU, Angelo State, as a possible college choice. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball, chopper foul, wide of third, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's give you the defense for the Lobos. Gillian is the left fielder. Klaus is in center. Rajan is in right. Hale is at the hot corner third baseman. Morrow, it's good to see Morrow out there. He tripped over the base in the pregame warm-ups at about 5 minutes before the game started. He was being attended to by the trainers on both sides, so he is okay at the shortstop position. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's a curveball called strike 3. Johnson applies the tag on Henry. 1 out in the last half of the first. That's a punch out for Joe Pena. Wyatt Henry, the younger brother, strikes out. 1 out. Base is empty in the last half of the first, and a scoreless game for the older brother, Cade Henry. Backus is the second baseman. Pemberton is at first. Johnson is behind the plate for, of course, Joel Pena. Cade Henry batting without any gloves. The first pitch is a fastball low and inside at the ankles. Ball 1 to Cade Henry. We mentioned earlier that Cade Henry was the starting quarterback for the Lakeview Chiefs this past football season. The 1-0 pitch, that's fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. Did have a chance to see the football head coach for the Chiefs, Hector Guevara, Coach G, down to third base side during the JV game. He was in good spirits. It's always great to see Coach. There's the 1-1 pitch. The curveball is up and in. 2 balls and a strike. Looking ahead to the Lakeview football season, even though this is March, Coach G will have to replace quite a bit of his senior starters who played well the last several years. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. One of them is to find a new quarterback. Of course, Cade Henry will be graduating within 9 weeks or so. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count to Cade Henry. The 2-2 pitch hits Henry in the right foot. So Cade Henry was hit by a pitch on that 2-2 pitch. That will give the Chiefs their first runner on base tonight in this bottom half of the first in a scoreless game. This brings up the third baseman, Isaiah Cruz. With the wind blowing out, if Cruz is able to get a hold of this one, who knows what could happen, especially in tonight's game. The wind is blowing straight into center field. 320 down the left and the right field lines. 390 in straightaway center. Cruz foul tips the first pitch at the plate for strike 1. Cade Henry is a good athlete with a sizable lead at first base. We'll see if he will run on this situation. No score. Last half of the first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gets away from Johnson. Advancing to second base is Cade Henry. So Cade Henry is in scoring position for Lakeview. It's 1 ball and 1 strike is to count to Cruz. With the wind blowing out, we don't know if this will be a high-scoring affair or a pitcher's duel tonight. Ground ball, base hit into left field. Cade Henry rounds third. He stops at third base. Now he'll come to home. The throw, he is tagged out. So Cade Henry tagged out by Johnson on the play. That will be 7-5-2 on the play for the Levelland defense. So we have 2 outs, a runner on first. Due to that 7-5-2 fielder's choice. So that will bring up Nico Bustamante, the shortstop. 2 outs, base is empty. Rather, runner on first. Cade Henry was picked off coming from second base to home plate. The first pitch gets past Johnson. Cruz will stop at second base. So that's the second time that has happened in this frame, that Johnson has had difficulty with the low outside pitches from his starting pitcher, Joel Pena. Runner on first for the second time in this stanza, Isaiah Cruz. Bottom half of the first, no score. 1-0 is to count to the shortstop, Bustamante. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Perhaps that will be the key in tonight's game. Will Joel Pena be able to get his pitches under control even though we're early in tonight's contest? Cruz with a huge lead at second. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's a fastball called strike. So far for Pena, that's his best pitch in this stanza. 2 balls and a strike to Bustamante, the shortstop. 2 outs. Last half of the first in a scoreless game from Lakeview Field. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That is low and inside. Runs the count to 3 balls and a strike. Oscar Obergeron, the first baseman, waits on deck for Lakeview. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball's a called strike on the outside edge. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the Lakeview shortstop with a runner at second base, Isaiah Cruz, who reached base on a 7-5-2 fielder's choice. To pick off, Cade Henry at home plate. Here's the 3-2. Chopper to the first baseman, which goes into shallow right field for a hit. Cruz rounds third. He will score. The Chiefs lead 1-0. Round in second. Advancing to third is Bustamante. So for the Chiefs, they take advantage of the poor defensive play there by the Lobos. The baseball bounces into right field. Isaiah Cruz scores all the way from second base. Lakeview with an early 1-0 lead. That's the first hit of the game for Lakeview. That scores Isaiah Cruz. At third base is Bustamante. This brings up Oscar Obergeron. Obergeron is the first baseman. Lakeview, they strike first, up 1-0. Here's the first pitch. That's fouled out of play, first base side. So for the Chiefs in this last half of the first, Wyatt Henry led up the game. He struck out. Cade Henry was hit by a pitch. He was forced out at home plate on the 7-5-2 play. Isaiah Cruz reached on base on that due to that fielder's choice and scored due to the single by Bustamante. Bustamante advances all the way to third base. 1 ball, 1 strike is to count to Oscar Bergeron. Jacob Champo, the second baseman, waits on deck, the senior. There's the 1-1 pitch. A fastball sails high and in. 2 balls and a strike. So for Joel Pena, bit of a problem with control on some of his pitches tonight in this bottom half of the first. That is something that a head coach does not want to see, especially early in the game. There's the 2-1 pitch. That's a fastball low and away. Runs the count to 3 balls and a strike. We are live from Lakeview Field on this Tuesday evening, so if one has looking for something to do tonight, just come on by to watch some good baseball in San Angelo, especially the young talent of the Lakeview Chiefs. 3 balls, 1 strike is the count to Bergeron. The 3-1 pitch is a called strike down the heart of the plate. Runs the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So for Pena, trying to get out of this minor jam, his team down by a score of 1-0 against the Lakeview Chiefs in this district matchup. Time has been called. So the runner will come in to score. Bustamante scores from third base. Appears to be a balk. Balk was the call. So the run scores, Lakeview up by a count of 2-0. So for Lakeview in the first, 2 runs on 1 hit. Cade Henry was hit by a pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes is the count to Oscar Bergeron against Joel Pena. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball, low and away, ball 4. So Pena in this first inning hit a batter and has walked a batter. This brings up Jacob Chapa, the second baseman. Jacob Chapa, he is a tremendous young athlete on the football team this past fall. He played quarterback, wide receiver, and also running back. Led the team in touchdown runs this past fall. Here's the first pitch to Chapa. He swings and lifts one into right center field. That will go all the way to the right field wall. Bergeron round second. He'll go to third. He will stop at third base, so give Jacob Chapa on the first pitch a double into deep right center field for the Chiefs. They have runners on second and third. That is hit number 2 in the game for Lakeview in this bottom half of the first. This brings up the left fielder, Alex Palacio. Palacio tosses the bat, climbs into the dish. So for Joel Pena in this bottom half of the first, he has really struggled. He has hit a batter, has allowed a double and a single, and has walked the batter only in this last half of the first with our score. That's Lakeview 2 and Levelland 0 in this district matchup on a Tuesday evening in the wonderful city of San Angelo. Thank you for watching this broadcast on Pixelcast Media, a production working with Concho Sports with our producer, director, and operator, Mr. Shea Harris. So the meeting of the mound has ended. This will bring up the Chiefs left fielder, Alex Palacio. We'll see what he will do with runners on second and third with 2 outs. Lakeview with a 2-0 advantage. Pena from the stretch brings home the first pitch. That's a curveball, caught strike. A good pitch by Joel Pena. Trying to get out of this jam for his Lobos on the road. Oh, 1-1 is the count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinging the ground by 1-hop comebacker to Pena. Throws over the first in time for the out to retire to side. Not before the Chiefs in that bottom half of the first score. 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 2 runners stranded. At the end of 1, complete our score. It is Lakeview 2 and Levelland 0. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
At VGI Technology, our mission is to connect and protect our communities using innovative technologies while providing an exceptional customer experience. Everyone on our team took part in creating this mission statement, and everyone on our team is committed to stand by every word. So for your home and office internet, security, cameras, and smart technology, call on your neighbors at locally owned VGI. VGI, to connect and protect.
At Medical Arts, your pharmacists are still people who know you. We care about you and your family. That's a relationship that can be helpful to you in so many ways. We're glad to offer curbside pickup anytime it's easier for you to stay in the car. We still proudly offer home delivery, as we have since 1957. But we admit, we like it best when you can come in, so we can visit. Medical Arts Pharmacy, the pharmacist next door. 2102 Pecos, 325-949-4636.
At Concho Bonds, we have an honest, friendly, and professional staff with over 40 years of experience. We understand that if you or a loved one needs our help, you want fast and efficient service that you can trust. That's why at Concho Bonds, we are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with easy payment plans, and we accept all major credit cards. Y habla español. At Concho Bonds, it is better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
We do in the broadcast business. Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. We thank the wonderful staff at Lakeview High School with all their help and assistance. This brings up Rusty Johnson, the catcher. He fouls the pitch to home plate behind the screen for strike one. So for Cade Henry, he's retired 2 out of 3 batters in that top half of the first. He'll face Rusty Johnson, the catcher, Tyra Morrill, the shortstop, and Tyler Pemberton, the first baseman. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a curveball called strike. No balls and 2 strikes. For Lakeview in that bottom half of the first, they scored 2 runs on 2 hits and left 2 runners on base. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's a curveball up and away. A ball and 2 strikes. Folks, if you want to keep up with all of our broadcasts and everything that we do, the best way is to follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Concho Sports. The 1-2 sails down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rusty Johnson. We also like to thank the coaching staff of Lakeview and also the staff at Levelland for the sidebar information of tonight's broadcast. Johnson strikes out on a high outside fastball. So for Cade Henry, punch out number 2 in this contest in the top half of the second inning. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. 1 out, bases clean. Cade Henry has returned the last 3 Lobos hitters, dating back to that leadoff man, Pena, when he walked and was caught stealing. Tyler Morrow, shortstop, on the first pitch. He fouls that one out of play, third base side. Morrow was briefly injured right before tonight's game. Stumbled over the second base bag in pregame warm-ups, but he was able to get up on his own power. That's a good sign that he's okay and playing tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a fastball up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cade Henry, 3-0 on the season, entering tonight's game. Here's the 1-0. Fastball up and away, 2 balls and a strike. This is a very busy spring season in the city of San Angelo, with all the sports teams. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's driven deep into right center field. That will go all the way to the wall. Morrow rounds first, will go to second with a stand-up double. And for Morrow, that will be the first hit of the game for the Lobos. So Tyler Morrow, the shortstop, he showed that he is okay. He drills the baseball into the deep right center field alley for their opening hit of the game. This brings up Tyler Pemberton, the first baseman. Lakeview with an early 2-0 lead on 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 runners left. And for the Lobos, no runs on 1 hit. Nobody left so far. Appears that Tyler Morrow is walking off to the first base bench. One out in the top half of the second. Pemberton, the first baseman. Appears to be a pinch runner into the game for the Lobos. Checking into the game is Noah Tienda. So Tienda comes into the game. He stands at second base. We thank Coach Portwood for the adjusted lineups, and also Michael Weiss, the broadcaster and the sports information director for Levelland. That's a good tip from the great broadcaster Marty Glickman. He had an incredible story we'd like to talk about. The first pitch to Pemberton, squirts low and away, ball one. He's always said as a broadcaster and as a reporter, especially at the high school and the lower levels, always arrive early to get the sidebar information from the opposing coaches, talk to all the players, talk to the officials. At the 1-0 pitch, that's a curveball called strike. It's outstanding staff here at Lakeview and also at Levelland. One out. Top half of the second, Lakeview with an early 2-0 lead. The 1-1 pitch is out upstairs for 2 balls and a strike. We mentioned there's a busy spring season in San Angelo. While we have a moment, let's talk about some of the other teams around town this week. The 2-1 pitch, that is low and outside, 3 balls and a strike. Well, the Angelo State University Rams baseball team, they swept Texas A&M International in Laredo in a 4-game set over the weekend. The 3-1 pitch is a called strike, 3 balls and 2 strikes. By how about these scores? 13-2, 4-0, 6-0, and 11-4. The Rams are currently 21-5 on the year. Here's a 3-2 pitch that is low and inside, ball 4. So Cade Henry has allowed a double and a walk. That is the second walk allowed by the senior pitcher in tonight's game. With that double by Tyler Morrow, this brings up Jerry Hale, the third baseman. The Rams, they are currently 21-5 on the year. That is a Medical Arts Pharmacy walk. They have won 8 consecutive games. The first pitch to Hale is a called strike, the third baseman. The Rams, they are, how about this, my friends? 12-0 on the road so far this season. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. And they are 19-5 in the Lone Star Conference. Many baseball experts around the country thought that when the Rams, when they had that tremendous season last year, the 0-2 pitch squirts to the backstop. The runners advance. Going to third is Morrow. Pemberton down the trail to second. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count to Hale. Wyatt Backus, the second baseman, waits on deck. Many baseball experts and also many people in San Angelo thought that after last year's 44-9 record by the Rams that they would struggle a little bit. But I tell you what, talking to players such as Jackson Hardy, here's the 1-2 pitch. Hale swings through that low inside breaking ball for a strikeout for Cade Henry. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout, K number 3 in the game. So for the Lobos, there are 2 outs. Top half of the second. Lakeview with an early 2-0 lead. This brings up Wyatt Backus, the second baseman. Henry delivers a curveball called strike to Backus for strike 1. Talking with Jackson Hardy, the star center fielder for the Rams. He's also studying for his MBA. Said that this is a team that they will reload this year, and he was spot on. Swinging a pop fly, first baseman is dropped, which scores a run. Morrow scores. That gives the Lobos their first run of the game. E3, error on the first baseman. So Backus hits a pop fly, dropped. That's an error on the first baseman. So for the Lobos, they score their first run of the game. It's 2-1. This brings up Dylan Brogdon, the right fielder, a runner at third base. Pemberton advances to third base. So Lakeview scored 2 in the first. Levelland responded in the second. He waves for that first pitch for strike one. Talking about the Rams, they will host Texas A&M Kingsville with a 4-game series in San Angelo this weekend for some outstanding college baseball action. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. Brogdon is in the hole. 2-1 Lakeview. The 0-2 pitch, blocked in front of the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the error by the Chiefs results in a run for the Lobos. Lakeview, they are 9-5 on the year. The Lobos 8-10 in the campaign. The 1-2 pitch, he swings at a high inside fastball. Brogdon does for a strikeout. That is a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout for Kate Henry. Punch out number 4. So for the Lobos in the second, 1 run on 1 hit. They leave a runner stranded and error by the Lakeview defense. We'll go into the bottom half of the second with our score. It is Lakeview 2 and the Lobos 1. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Pixelcast Media. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball. Looking ahead to ourselves there for football season, since we were talking about football earlier on Pixelcast Media. This brings up J.D. Salgado. He played linebacker for the Chiefs during football season. The first pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Salgado will be followed by Caffron and then Wyatt Henry. 8-9-1 in the Lakeview lineup against Joel Pena, who has retired 2 out of 7 batters on the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's inside. 2 balls and no strikes is the count. Pena has retired 2 out of 7 in this Tuesday game. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Salgado. That is outside. Runs the count to 3 balls and no strikes. The 3-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. 320 down the left and the right field lines, 309 and 390 in straightaway center field. The wind is still blowing out at Lakeview Baseball Field. Swinging a bouncing ball to the second baseman Backus. Sidearm throw to first in time for out number 1. Salgado bounces out to Backus. 4-3 on the play for the Lobos defense. 1 out, bases clean in the last half of the second for the right fielder, Joseph Caffron. Talking about the Rams in that last inning, Angelo State, the baseball team there led by Justin Lee. He has a batting average of, how about this, .474, 2 home runs, 30 knocked in. Carfron takes a called strike at the outside edge. Meanwhile, on the hill, they are led by Jake Rogers. He has been perfect this season. He is 6-0 with a 3.18 earned run average. The 0-1 pitch is lifted into right center field. The right fielder, Rodgen, makes the catch for out number 2. Carfron flies out the right, 2 outs, bases empty. The Lobos pitcher, Pena, has retired the last 3 Lakeview hitters after Chopper hit a double into right center field in the first. This brings up Wyatt Henry, the center fielder. Henry is 0 for 1. He struck out to begin the offense in that last half of the first. Fastball sails up and in, ball 1. So for the Angelo State baseball team, they'll be at home this weekend. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball's up and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Henry. Angelo State received special honors Monday when pitcher Aaron Munson was selected as the Lone Star Conference Pitcher of the Week. 2 balls and a strike to Henry. The sophomore from San Antonio fired 8 scoreless innings on Saturday at Texas A&M International. Allowed only 1 hit. The 2-1 pitch, curveball, swing and a miss to Henry. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was when Angelo State won that game 6-0 in an extra inning affair over the Dust Devils. He retired the first 10 batters he faced. In total in that game, Munson retired 24 out of 28 batters and struck out 11. What a dominating performance by Aaron Munson on Saturday. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss to retire the side. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout for Joel Pena in the game. Pena, that's his second K. So for the Chiefs, they go down in order 1-2-3 against Joel Pena at the end of 2. Our score. It's the Lakeview Chiefs 2 and the Levelland Lobos 1. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Pixelcast Media. We'll be right back in just a moment.
At San Angelo ISD, we believe that students are more than just a test score.
We value the hopes and dreams of each child
and work diligently to enhance student learning and reduce achievement gaps.
To produce future-ready graduates.
No matter what that future might look like.
By honoring each student's unique strengths and supporting their individual needs, we celebrate all the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways. Todas las formas.
All the ways.
We celebrate all the ways our students are smart.
Hey, I'm open.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Pixelcast Media. We'll head into the top half of the third. Our score, it's Lakeview 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 runners left, and for the Lobos of Levelland, 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 runner left. Joe Pena will lead it off for the Lobos in this top half of the third. In the opening frame, he walked but was caught stealing. 1-0 is the count to Pena. Will be followed by Gillian and Klaus. 1-2-3 against Cade Henry. He has retired 5 out of 9 batters through 2 innings of work. The officials for tonight's game: Ryan Gill is behind the plate. Doc Schultz is the first base umpire. 2-0 pitch sails high and in. 3 balls and no strikes at the count. Earlier today, the Lakeview JV team defeated Levelland by a count of 7-3. So congratulations to the JV team. 3 balls and a strike is the count to Pena. Getting to know Jace Hall, the new head coach for Lakeview. Graduated from Friendship High School. The 3-1 pitch sails up and away, ball 4. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy walk. That is the third walk issued by Kid Henry tonight. This brings up the left fielder, Marco Gillian. He is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging back in the first. Coach Hall played his university baseball at the University of the Southwest. I asked him what's his impressions of this Lakeview team in his first year. He said that he loves Lakeview. Said that the young scholars are excited about playing. There's a bunt down the third base line, fielded by Cruz. Cruz does not make a throw. That is an infield hit for Gillian. For the Lobos, hit number 2 in the game. Runners on first and second. Pena goes to second. Gillian at first. This brings up Blake Klaus, the center fielder. He's 0 for 1. He popped out the first to retire to side in that opening frame. So for the Lobos, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 1 runner left. And for Lakeview, 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 left. There's the first pitch. 1 hops in front of the plate. Nice stop by the catcher, J.D. Salgado. He's a big player out there. Played linebacker on the football team. So he is capable of blocking those pitches. 1 ball and no strikes is to count to Klaus, the center fielder. The Lobos with runners on first and second. Nobody out in the top half of the third. 1 ball and 1 strike is to count to Klaus. Meanwhile, talking about the Bells softball team, they finished the weekend 4-0. That's grounded foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Over the past weekend, they took 2 from UT Permian Basin in Odessa on Friday by scores of 11-8 and 4-2. They swept Western New Mexico on Sunday by scores of 11-4 and 8-0. The 1-2 pitch, Klaus waves to the high outside fastball for strike 3. That is a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout for starting pitcher Cade Henry. That is the 5th punch out for the senior right-hander in tonight's game. 1 out, runners on first and second for Rusty Johnson. The first pitch is a strike. Rather, check that as a ball to Rusty Johnson, the catcher. Struck out back in the second. He waves through that 1-0 pitch to even to count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The Bells, they'll play a key weekend series this Friday. They'll host first place UT Tyler at a doubleheader from Meyer Field. UT Tyler, they are ranked number 1 in the entire nation in Division II. The 1-1 pitch is a called strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Bells are 23-5 of the season, 8-4 in the Lone Star Conference, and 13-1 at home. The 1-2 sails up and away, evens the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if one has any time on Friday, that will be the match to watch on the campus of ASU. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's fouled over to the plate behind the home plate screen, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, how about this for the Bells? They are hitting for the team .336, led by third baseman Paxton Schurer. She is batting .466 on the year, 16 home runs and 50 RBIs. Three balls and 2 strikes is to count to Rusty Johnson. Top half of the third. Lakeview with an early 2-1 lead. 3-2 pitch, curveball, swing and a miss. Johnson strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Cade Henry. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout for Cade Henry. 6 punch-outs in the game. 2 outs, runners on first and second for the Lobos. This brings up Tyler Morrow, the shortstop. At his last at-bat, he ripped a double into right center field back in the second. The first pitch sails high and away, ball 1. The Bells are also led by star softball pitcher Genesis Armendariz. She is 12-3 on the year with a 1.97 ERA. The 1-0 pitch is low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. I did have a chance to talk to Paxton Schurer earlier in the season, and she said she wanted to replace the big bat of Courtney Barnhill, who, of course, graduated from Angelo State. There's the 2-0 pitch outside. The throw down to third, dropped by the third baseman, Cruz. The runner is safe. Pena is safe at third base. Across the diamond at first is Gillian. So for the Lobos, it's 3-0 at the count tomorrow. Runners at the corners, Lakeview 2, Levelland 1, top half of the third with 2 outs. Cade Henry with 6 Ks so far in the contest. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's a fastball, sails up and away, ball 4. The bases are loaded. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy walk. That is the third walk allowed by Cade Henry tonight. This brings up Tyler Pembleton, the first baseman. He walked but was left stranded at third base, back into second. Bases are loaded for the Lobos. The first pitch is low and away, ball 1. So for Levelland, Pena's at third base, he walked. Gillian's at second, he singled. Morrow is at first, who walked. So for Cade Henry, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks in the game. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a curveball, up and away, up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. So Cade Henry, he's in a jam at this moment. Top half of the third. The 2-0 pitch. That's inside, runs the count to 3 balls and no strikes. Third baseman Jerry Hale waits on deck. Cade Henry has to throw a strike in this situation with the bases loaded. 2 outs, his team up 2-1. Curveball's a called strike at the inside part of the plate. 3 balls and a strike. That was a big pitch there by the senior, Cade Henry. The 3-1 pitch is low and away, ball 4. The run comes in to score, so for Pembleton with a walk and an RBI. Walk number 4 issued by the senior right-hander, Cade Henry. That brings in Joel Pena. We are tied at 2. Base is still loaded. Gillian goes to third. Morrow to second. Pemberton at first for Jerry Hale, the third baseman. So in this top half of the third, Cade Henry has allowed 3 walks and an infield hit single, but has struck out 2 batters. This brings up Jerry Hale, the third baseman. He is 0 for 1 today. He struck out swinging back in the second. That's the third punch out at the time for Cade Henry. Here is the first pitch. Curveball is low and inside at the ankles, ball 1. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 1 runner left for the Lobos. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left for Lakeview. The 1-0 pitch, a fastball is a called strike down the pipe, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Talking about Paxton Scherer, she homered in all 4 games last weekend. She hammered 7 in total over the weekend. The 1-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Against UT Permian Basin, she homered 3 times in 1 game. She drove in 6 runs in that 11-8 victory. Paxton Scherer, great news for her. She is now 6th all-time in ASU history for most home runs. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swinging a pop fly, bending foul, first base side. She currently leads all Division II players with home runs this season with 16, RBIs 50, and a slugging percentage over 1,000. So how about that? Right here from San Angelo. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's a breaking ball, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So great news from the San Angelo sports front. Here's the 2-2 pitch, lifted into center field. Wyatt Henry is there. Makes the over-the-shoulder catch in deep center field to retire to the side. What a catch by Wyatt Henry in deep center field. Races back to the center field wall with his back to the infield. Makes the over-the-left shoulder catch for the out. So for the Lobos and the third against Cade Henry, 1 run on 1 hit, 3 runners left. So at our score, we'll go into the last half of the third. It is Levelland 2, Lakeview 2. We'll pause for a quick break. We'll take a timeout. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Pixelcast Media.
At VGI Technology, our mission is to connect and protect our communities using innovative technologies while providing an exceptional customer experience. Everyone on our team took part in creating this mission statement, and everyone on our team is committed to stand by every word. So for your home and office internet, security, cameras, and smart technology, call on your neighbors at locally owned VGI. VGI, to connect and protect.
At Medical Arts, your pharmacists are still people who know you. We care about you and your family. That's a relationship that can be helpful to you in so many ways. We're glad to offer curbside pickup anytime it's easier for you to stay in the car. We still proudly offer home delivery, as we have since 1957. But we admit, we like it best when you can come in, so we can visit. Medical Arts Pharmacy, the pharmacist next door. 2102 Pecos, 325-949-4636.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. We will cruise into the last half of the third with our score. It is Levelland 2 and Lakeview 2. Cade Henry will lead it off for the Chiefs in this last half of the third. He was hit by a pitch, stole second, then was forced out on the fielder's choice on a 7-5-2 play back in the first. The first pitch is a curveball called strike. Henry will be followed by Cruz and Bustamante, 2, 3, and 4 in the Lakeview lineup. Working against Joel Pena. Cade Henry pushes a bunt to the third baseman. Hale throws over the first in time for out number 1. Fine play by the third baseman Hale. Off that bunt, left side of the infield. Picks it up, fires over the first in time. Beats Cade Henry by a step for the first out in the frame. So for Joe Pena, he has retired the last 5 Lakeview hitters, dating back to Jacob Champa's double to right center field back in the first. 1 out, bases empty. Tied game at 2 in the last half of the third. This brings up Isaiah Cruz. He hit into that. He singled to left. Then he scored the game's first run. Cruz is 1 for 1 in tonight's game. Here's the pitch to Isaiah Cruz, swinging the ground ball to the third baseman Hale. Fires over the first in time for the second out in the frame. Cruz on the first pitch, grounds out to Hale. Fine play by Hale, fields to his left. Guns it over the first in time for the second out in the frame. 5-3 on the play for the Lobos defense. 6 consecutive retired by Joel Pena. This brings up Bustamante, the shortstop. He is 1 for 1 today. Single to right center field, scored in the first. That was when Lakeview scored 2 runs in that last half of the first frame. The first pitch is low and inside with the fastball, ball 1. Well, since we are at Lakeview High School, we talked earlier about the spring break and also for the scholars to read. We have a highly recommended book for the young scholars. The 1-0 pitch hits Bustamante. He will trot down the first base line. So Joe Pena hits Bustamante. Talking about the book, it's actually called Let's Play 2, the story about Ernie Banks. Ernie Banks, a native of Dallas, longtime Chicago Cubs great. Here is Oscar Oberjan. Oberjan, in the opening frame, he walked, but was left stranded at third base. He takes the first pitch, a curveball, low and away, ball 1. The book by Ron Rappaport tells a unique story of Ernie Banks, that he joined the Kansas City Monarchs in 1950 and played for the Cubs starting in 1953. He was mentored by, you would not believe it, he was mentored by Jackie Robinson during the offseason barnstorming tours. In the book, Banks, he talked about those times growing up in segregation in Dallas, and also that what made him strive to become a success in life through playing baseball. Here's the 1-0 pitch, swinging a ground ball, base hit into right field. Rounding second, Bustamante, he won't stop at third. So for the Chiefs, that is hit number 3 in the game. A 2-out single in the right field. So for the Chiefs, runners on first and third. With 2 outs, this brings up Jacob Chapa. Chapa is 1 for 1. He doubled into right center field on the first pitch back in the first. Ernie Banks, he won the National League's MVP award in 1959. His famous quote, "Let's play 2," indicating that he wanted to play 2 games that day instead of 1. Tied game at 2 in the last half of the third. Runners on first and third. Chop on the first pitch hits a ground ball to the second baseman, Bacchus, underhands DeMauro, who covers to second for the force on a 4-6 fielder's choice to retire the side. So for Lakeview in the third, no runs on 1 hit, 2 runners left at the corners. At the end of 3, our score. It is Levelland 2, Lakeview 2. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
At Concho Bail Bonds, we have an honest, friendly, and professional staff with over 40 years of experience. We understand that if you or a loved one needs our help, you want fast and efficient service that you can trust. That's why at Concho Bail Bonds, we are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with easy payment plans, and we accept all major credit cards. Y habla español. At Concho Bail Bonds, it is better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. We will maneuver into the top half of the fourth, and our score is Levelland 2, Lakeview 2. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 4 runners left for the Lobos. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 3 runners stranded for the Lakeview Chiefs. This brings up Wyatt Bacchus, the second baseman, working against Cade Henry in this top half of the fourth. The first pitch is low and inside the curveball, ball 1. Bacchus reached base on an error. Back in the first, was left stranded at first in that second inning. Bacchus will be followed by Brogdon and then Pena, 8, 9, and 1 against Cade Henry, who has retired 8 out of 16 batters so far in this game. 2 balls, no strikes to count to Wyatt Bacchus, the second baseman. Going back to that book by Ernie Banks, he talked about that 1961 season. The Cubs, they played an entire season with a group of managers. The 2-0 pitch is a curveball called strike. They used position coaches by committee, which was what he called a disaster. The Cubs finished 64-90 in that year. Here's the 2-1 pitch, swinging a tapper to the third baseman. Cruz throws over to first on a looper for out number 1. Bacchus bounces out to the third baseman, Isaiah Cruz. 5-3 on the play for the Chiefs defense. 1 out, bases clean in the top half of the fourth. Tied the game at 2 for Dylan Brogdon. Brogdon, the right fielder, is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging to retire the side in the second. Cade Henry with 6 punch-outs in the game. The right-hander is a senior. Brings home the first pitch. That's a curveball, goes all the way to the backstop, ball one. Banks, he played shortstop and also first base for the Cubs. The manager for the Cubs was Leo DeRocher. He became the new manager in 1966. He would have the team take batting practice after the Cubs would lose. And oftentimes the team would not have dinner because the restaurants would have closed at the time. That was back in the 1960s. Banks was a private person. He would not talk much about himself. The 1-1 pitch is fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike. He would entertain others by asking questions about them. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1977. He passed away in 2014. One ball and 2 strikes is the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Brogdon strikes out. That is strikeout number 7 for Cade Henry. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. 2 outs, base is clean. Henry has retired the last 3. Lobos hitters. This brings up Joe Pena, the pitcher. He's walked twice. Walked in the first, caught stealing second base in the first, walked and scored in the third. On the first pitch, he hits a fly ball to deep center field. Wyatt, that sails over the head of Wyatt Henry's head all the way to the 390 wall. Rounding second, advancing to third base. He will round third. He will stop at third base, so give Joe Pena a triple to deep center field for the Lobos. Hit number 3 in the game. What a hit by Pena. That's why he perhaps is the leadoff hitter for the Lobos. Pounds that baseball over the head of Wyatt Henry into deep center field, all the way to the wall to the 390 sign. This will bring Marco Gillian to the plate. Gillian is 1 for 2. With 2 outs, here's the first pitch. That's a curveball called strike at the inside half. Gillian struck out in the first, hit an infielded single down the third baseline, and the third was left stranded at the third base bag. One ball and 1 strike gives the count to Gillian. So for the Lobos, 2 runs on 3 hits in the game. The 1-1 pitch is a called strike, a ball and 2 strikes is the count. For Levelland with that 1 error, 4 runners left. One for Lakeview, 2 runs on 3 hits, 3 runners left. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Talking about Banks in his private talks, he was upset that he never played in the World Series nor played in a division title game. One of the great baseball players of all time. The 1-2 pitch, that's popped foul. Out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Banks received the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award in 2013 by President Obama. The funny thing about that is that he did not invite his family to that epic program. He was not close with his family, unfortunately. His caretaker was in his will, but not his own children. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Jack Brickhouse, one of the famous broadcasters of all time for the Chicago Cubs, was quoted as saying that Ernie Banks was the greatest Cub of all time. The 1-2 pitch, a curveball is high and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch, nice stop by J.D. Salgado, runs the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. An interesting background, a great read if you have a chance to pick it up. Let's Play 2, the legend of Mr. Cub, the life of Ernie Banks. Grew up in segregated Dallas. At the time, 3-2 pitch, hits Gillian. Gillian will trot down the line. So for the Lobos, they have runners at first and third with 2 outs. Blake Klaus, the center fielder, comes up to the plate. How about that? Being mentored by Jackie Robinson. Can you imagine that there, Shay? What a life. Howard Cosell, epic broadcaster, of course, for ABC Sports and Monday Night Football, Monday Night Baseball, had a great quote. The first pitch to Klaus is a curveball, blown away, ball 1. He said, of all the athletes that he has covered and also in American society, he said, the greatest athletes, he said, here's the 1-0 pitch. That's laced into center field for a base hit. Pena scores for the Lobos. They take a 3-2 advantage. An RBI single for Blake Klaus. Pena scores. Gillian goes to second base. So for the Lobos, run number 3, hit number 4 in the contest. There will be a meeting on the mound to talk things over with Cade Henry. That will be it for Cade Henry. There will be a new pitcher in the game for the Lakeview Chiefs. So while we have a moment, let's tell you that story, what Howard Cosell was talking about. Howard Cosell, famous broadcaster in the industry, he said the greatest athlete, he said, of all time in America, not just on the diamond or what they did as an athlete, but he said as a human being, he said quote, Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, because of what Robinson went through and also what he stood for, and also an advocate for American society. So a new pitcher on the hill for Lakeview. That will be Isaiah Cruz. So Isaiah Cruz is the new pitcher for Lakeview. So with the pitching change, let's take a quick timeout. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex, 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
At San Angelo ISD, we believe that students are more than just a test score.
We value the hopes and dreams of each child.
And work diligently to enhance student learning and reduce achievement gaps.
To produce future-ready graduates.
No matter what that future might look like.
By honoring each student's unique strengths and supporting the
Isaiah Cruz is the second pitcher used by head coach Jace Hall. This will send Rusty Johnson to the plate, the catcher. He is 0 for 2 in tonight's game. The first pitch is blown away, ball 1. Gary Cruz is the new third baseman for Lakeview. So for the Lobos, they have scored 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, 4 runners left. And for Lakeview, 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 3 runners left in the top half of the fourth with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. The 1-0 pitch. That's a curveball, 2 balls and no strikes. So for the Lobos, Gillian is at second. He was hit by a pitch. Blake Klaus with an RBI single, which scored Pena. So that was it for Cade Henry, the starting pitcher for Lakeview. The 2-0 pitch is high. 3 balls and no strikes. So for Cade Henry tonight, he retired 10 out of 19 batters, pitched in 3 2/3 innings, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, and hit a batter in tonight's game. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's a curveball called strike, 3 balls and a strike. Well, going back to Howard Cosell before the break, Howard Cosell did say of all the athletes, not only that he covered, but also in American society, he said the greatest athletes were Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali. Ground ball foul wide of third. 3 balls and 2 strikes, not because of what they did on their athletic prowess, but what they did on the social stance to broaden Americans' awareness on the social stance in our society. And, of course, in a few weeks, baseball will honor Jackie Robinson with Jackie Robinson Day, April 15th. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That's a curveball, sails high and away. Ball 4. Johnson walks. The bases are loaded. Gillian goes to third. Klaus goes to second. Johnson is at first. Key part of the game for Lakeview, down by a count of 3-2. Top half of the fourth. Bases loaded for Tyler Morrow, the shortstop. He's 1 for 1. Double to deep center field in the second and scored. Walked, but was left stranded at second base and the third. Can't argue with Howard Cosell there, my friends, on his analysis there, because Major League Baseball on April 15th, all the teams in Major League Baseball will wear jersey number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. That was the day, of course, that Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier on April 15th, 1947 in Brooklyn. Here's Morrow. Curveball's low and inside, ball 1. So Isaiah Cruz on the hill for Lakeview. He's in a tough spot. The bases are loaded. His team trails. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Is low and outside to throw down to third. Gillian dives back to the bag. 2 balls and no strikes is the count to Tyler Morrow. Once again, 1 for 1, double to center field back in the second inning. The 2-0 pitch, swinging a ground ball to the shortstop, Bustamante. Picks up and fires over to first in time for the out to retire the side. So for the Lobos in the fourth, they score a run. 1 run, 2 hits. They leave the bases loaded. So we'll go into the bottom half of the fourth. Our score, it is Levelland 3, Lakeview 2. We'll pause for a quick break. We'll be right back in just a moment. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
Individual needs, we celebrate all the ways.
At VGI Technology, our mission is to connect and protect our communities using innovative technologies while providing an exceptional customer experience. Everyone on our team took part in creating this mission statement, and everyone on our team is committed to stand by every word. So for your home and office internet, security, cameras, and smart technology, call on your neighbors at locally owned VGI. VGI, to connect and protect.
At Medical Arts, your pharmacists are still people who know you. We care about you and your family. That's a relationship that can be helpful to you in so many ways. We're glad to offer curbside pickup anytime it's easier for you to stay in the car. We still proudly offer home delivery, as we have since 1957. But we admit, we like it best when you can come in, so we can visit. Medical Arts Pharmacy, the pharmacist next door. 2102 Pecos, 325-949-4636.
At Concho Bell Bonds, we have an honest, friendly, and professional staff with over 40 years of experience. We understand that if you or a loved one needs our help, you want fast and efficient service that you can trust. That's why at Concho Bell Bonds, we are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with easy payment plans, and we accept all major credit cards. Y habla español. At Concho Bell Bonds, it is better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. This brings up the left fielder, Alex Palacio. He'll be followed by J.D. Salgado and then Joseph Cafron, 7, 8, and 9 in the Lakeview lineup, working against Joel Pena. There's the 0-1 pitch that goes to the backstop, a ball on the strike. Palacio tonight grounded out to the pitcher, Pena on the comebacker in the first to return to side. He is 0 for 1. Lakeview trails by a score of 3-2, bottom half of the fourth. 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, 7 runners left for the Lobos. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 3 runners left for Lakeview. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count to the Lakeview left fielder. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's foul tipped at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Speaking about Major League Baseball, which we talked about in that last inning, it's great that that Major League Baseball, they've ironed it out. They'll have the season. Will start in early April. They'll unfortunately miss the first week, but it's great to see Major League Baseball back. Spring training is already in session. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a 1-hopper to the shortstop. Morrow picks it up. Sidearm throws over to first in time for out number 1. Palacio bounces out to the shortstop. Morrow. He tripped over the second base bag in pregame warm-up, so he was a question mark earlier, but it's good to see him in the game tonight. Of course, you don't want to see any of the scholar athletes get hurt regardless of the school. Next brings up J.D. Salgado, the catcher. He is 0 for 1, bounced up the back, is back at his second. On the first pitch, he pops that one up, foul ground first base side. That will bend foul out of play for strike 1. Speaking about Major League Baseball, my friends, an epic moment that happened in baseball actually 71 years ago. The National League pennant was still undecided right through the end of the regular season, perhaps in one of the greatest baseball races of all time between the New York Giants and the Brooklyn Dodgers. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swinging a ground ball to the shortstop. Morrow picks it up, guns it over to first on a sidearm throw for out number 2. Salgado grounds out to Morrow, 6-3 on the play for the Levelland defense. 2 putouts by Morrow, 2 consecutive putouts. This brings up the right fielder, Caffron. He is 0 for 1 in today's game, flat out to the right fielder. Brogdon to back in the second inning. In that 1951 season, 71 years ago, both of the teams ended in a tie to end the regular season. 1-0 is the count to Caffron. So that forced a 3-game playoff. Both teams, they split the first 2 games, and the third and final game of that series was decided, perhaps one of the greatest moments of all time in baseball. The 1-0 pitch, 1 hops in front of the plate, 2 balls and no strikes, when Bobby Thompson of the Giants hit that home run to deep left field, which was called the shot heard around the world. Two balls, no strikes is the count. The Caffron, here's the pitch. That's a fastball. That's a called strike down the heart of the plate. That famous home run occurred in the Polo Grounds off Dodgers pitcher Ralph Brankham on October 3rd of 1951. How about that? 2-1 pitch, a fastball's a called strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Giants at the time trailed Brooklyn 4-2 with 2 runners on base. That was the first televised game nationally and was also heard on Armed Forces Radio. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Foul tipped at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes at the count. The Giants, they won 37 in their last 44 games to force a tie. Back then, the National League used a 3-game tie situation to break ties for the pennant. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball's busted low and inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Center fielder Wyatt Henry waits on deck. Chiefs trail by a score of 3-2. 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, 7 runners left for the Lobos. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 3 runners left for Lakeview. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper today. Shortstop once again. DeMauro fields to his right. Throws high over to first base. That will be an error on the shortstop, E6. So for Morrow, he had 2 consecutive putouts, but this time throws high with 2 outs. So Caffron is at first. That's an error. On the Lobos, that's their second error of the game. This brings up the center fielder, Wyatt Henry. Henry is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Both occasions struck out swinging in the first and also in the second. The Dodgers, they won a coin toss to determine who would play home and also on the road for that epic 3-game series. There's the fastball, high and away, ball 1 to Henry. Game 1 was played at Ebbets Field, home of the Dodgers. Games 2 and 3 was played at the Polo Grounds, home of the Giants. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a curveball. That's inside. 2 balls and no strikes. So in Game 1, the Giants won 3-1 at Ebbets Field. Game 2, the Dodgers blew out the Giants 10-0 at the Polo Grounds. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's a called strike, 2 balls and a strike. And then the Giants won the final game, of course, 5-4 in the bottom of the 9th. The game is also best known by Russ Hodges, the Giants' legendary radio broadcaster, when he screamed several times over the air, "The Giants win the pennant." The 2-1 pitch, swinging a pop fly into shallow right field. Brogdon is there to make the catch to retire the side. So for the Chiefs in the 4th, no runs, no hit, an error by the shortstop Morrow. Runner left. At the end of 4, complete our score. It's Levelland 3, Lakeview 2. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Best Tech also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Best Tech, 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. We will cruise into the top half of the 5th with our score. It's the Lobos 3 and Lakeview 2. Tyler Pemberton, the first baseman, is the first hitter in the lineup. Fouls that one at the plate for strike 1. Pemberton, the first baseman tonight, walked in the 2nd, was left stranded at third base. And the 3rd, walked, an RBI walk, was left at first base. So he has reached plate twice and has walked twice. So for Pemberton, he'll be followed by Jerry Hale and then Wyatt Backus, 6, 7, and 8 in the lineup against Isaiah Cruz, who will work in his first full inning in relief, replacing starting pitcher Cade Henry. Here's the 0-1. That's low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. So for Isaiah Cruz, this is the 3rd batter he has faced. Walked Johnson in the 4th. Morrow grounded out to the shortstop, Bustamante, to retire the side in the 4th, replacing starting pitcher Cade Henry. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is low and away, 2 balls and a strike. Cade Henry, the starter today, pitched 3 2/3 innings, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, 7 Ks, 3 walks. Retired 10 out of 19 batters. The 2-1 pitch, that's a called strike down the heart of the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Going back to that last of the frame, talking about that epic Giants comeback 71 years ago, that was Russ Hodges, who had that famous saying, "The Giants win the pennant, the Giants win the pennant," after Thompson's game-winning home run. 3 balls and 2 strikes at the count to Pemberton. The young fans probably could go onto YouTube to see that epic clip. The 3-2 pitch is lifted into right center field. The center fielder, Wyatt Henry, is there, makes the catch in the right center field alley for out number 1. Pemberton flies out to Wyatt Henry in right center field. 8 unassisted for the Chiefs defense. 1 out. Bases clean, top half of the 5th. 3-2 Levelland for Jerry Hale, the third baseman. Hale is 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out swinging back at the third. The third K at the time for Kid Henry. Flied out to left field in the third. 1-0 is the count to Jerry Hale. Bases clean. Top half of the 5th. 3-2 is our score. Lakeview down by 1. Swinging a tapper to the shortstop. Bustamante fires over the first high, but in time for out number 2. Hale bounces out to Bustamante. A high throw, but Hale is out by a step. So quickly 2 outs. Isaiah Cruz has retired the last 3 Levelland batters dating back to that top half of the 4th. This brings up Wyatt Backus, the second baseman. He is 0 for 2 today. Reached base on an air, grounded out to the third baseman in the 4th. 1-0 is the count. Well, how about this? In that epic game, Ernie Harwell, remember him, the longtime famous Detroit Tigers broadcaster, called the game on the NBC network. Harwell, longtime famous announcer for the Tigers. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swinging the ground ball to the shortstop. Bustamante gobbles it up. Throws over the first high, but in time to retire the side. The Lobos go out in order, 1, 2, 3 for the first time in tonight's game against Isaiah Cruz. So goes to the last half of the 5th. Our score is the Lobos 3, Lakeview 2. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
At San Angelo ISD, we believe that students are more than just a test score.
We value the hopes and dreams of each child
and work diligently to enhance student learning and reduce achievement gaps.
To produce future-ready graduates.
No matter what that future might look like.
By honoring each student's unique strengths and supporting their individual needs, we celebrate all the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways. Todas las formas.
All the ways.
We celebrate all the ways our students are smart.
Hey, I'm open.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. We will head into the last half of the 5th with our score. It's Levelland 3, Lakeview 2. This brings up Cade Henry up to the box. Cade Henry was hit by a pitch in the first, grounded out to third in the 3rd inning. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. Henry will be followed by Cruz and then Bustamante, 2, 3, and 4 against Joel Pena. He has retired 11 out of 19 batters tonight. 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors, 7 runners left for the Lobos. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 4 left for Lakeview. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. Going back to that epic game 71 years ago, Red Barber called the game on the Dodgers radio network. Guess who he mentored? We talked about mentorship earlier. Guess who he mentored, my friends? A very young Vin Scully. The 1-1 pitch, foul tip into the mitt of Johnson, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And many people, even to this day, have said that Vin Scully is considered not only the greatest baseball broadcaster of all time, but the greatest broadcaster of all time. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball is up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Guess who was on deck in that famous home run by Thompson? A very young Willie Mays. Willie Mays that season On the 2-2 pitch, a fastball is high and away. He hit 20 home runs in his rookie year with 68 RBIs. He was only 20 years old. He was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1951. The 3-2 pitch, that is a called third strike. Henry racing down the line. Punch out 2-3. So a strikeout for Joel Pena. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. For Pena, that's his third K of the game. One out, bases clean in the last half of the fifth. Levelland 3, Lakeview 2. This brings up Isaiah Cruz. Isaiah Cruz, now the pitcher. Single to left in the first and scored. Grounded out to third in the third inning. He is 1 for 2. So that happened 71 years ago. Fastball's up and away, ball 1. Ken Burns, the famous filmmaker, produced a great documentary on that epic 1951 season in the baseball series. The 1-0 pitch is fouled over home plate, over the screen, 1 ball and 1 strike. That was produced in 1994. John Chancellor was the narrator. John Chancellor was the longtime NBC anchor. He replaced the Huntley Brinkley report. There's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chancellor was the anchor for NBC during the 1970s. Can you imagine that? Chancellor at NBC, Walter Cronkite at CBS, Frank Reynolds at ABC, and then a young Peter Jennings. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count to Isaiah Cruz. Curveball, swing and a miss. Cruz strikes out. Punch out for Joel Pena, number 4. That's a consecutive Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. 2 outs in the last half of the fifth. This brings up Nico Bustamante, the shortstop. Bustamante, single to right field in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third. Back then, my friends, that was when they had 3 networks. I think our young scholars at Lakeview perhaps don't know much about that, so that's why they're in school to learn. Here's the first pitch. It's a curveball low and inside for ball 1. Now with the 500 channels and all that stuff, social media, they actually are graduating this May. Swinging the ground ball to the third baseman, Hale. He bobbles the baseball, which rolls into shallow left field. That will be ruled an error for the third baseman, Hale. So Bustamante gets on E5. So for the Lobos, that's their third error of the game. This brings up Oscar Auberjon. There we go, Auberjon. Auberjon today, he is 1 for 1. Isn't that correct? I think that's, Auberjon. There we go. Yeah, we were informed of the pronunciation earlier, after we were told earlier by the coaches in a different way. But nonetheless, the first pitch is fouled over home plate for strike 1. 3-2 is our score. The Lobos with 3 runs on 4 hits, 3 errors, 7 runners left. And for Lakeview, 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 4 runners left. Runner on first. Bustamante dives back to the bag on his hands and knees. We are live from Lakeview Field on this Tuesday evening. The first week, the Scholars are back from their spring break. 320 down the left of the right field lines, 390 in straightaway center field. The 0-1 pitch is fouled out of play first base side, no balls and 2 strikes. Vin Scully, talking about him, was the longtime voice for the Dodgers. Covered Jackie Robinson. He said the same thing, that of all the athletes he covered, Jackie Robinson, he said, was not only the greatest, but also a great person. No balls and 2 strikes is the count. Here's the pitch. Sails up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scully also was the lead broadcaster for the NBC Baseball Game of the Week in the early 1980s. Called many epic games for NBC, so he was doing both at the same time. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball's fouled, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. Well, we have a moment talking about great broadcasters there. That's one thing that baseball has there, Shay. You know, that epic, legendary broadcasters from Vince Scully to Harry Carey, of the longtime voice of the Chicago Cubs on WGN. 1-2 pitch is blocked in front of the plate by the catcher Johnson. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Also, Jack Buck, St. Louis Cardinals on the radio for many years. Mel Allen of the New York Yankees. Phil Rizzuto. John Miller, Dick Enberg. My, oh my, the list goes on and on. Swinging a chopper to the shortstop, Morrow. Picks it up. Fires over the first on a sidearm throw. In time for the out 2. Retired to side. So for Lakeview in the 5th, no runs, no hits, and error committed by the third baseman, 1 man left. At the end of 5, complete our score. It's the Lobos 3 and the Lakeview Chiefs 2. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
At VGI Technology, our mission is to connect and protect our communities using innovative technologies while providing an exceptional customer experience. Everyone on our team took part in creating this mission statement, and everyone on our team is committed to stand by every word. So for your home and office internet, security, cameras, and smart technology, call on your neighbors at locally owned VGI. VGI, to connect and protect.
At Medical Arts, your pharmacists are still people who know you. We care about you and your family. That's a relationship that can be helpful to you in so many ways. We're glad to offer curbside pickup anytime it's easier for you to stay in the car. We still proudly offer home delivery, as we have since 1957. But we admit, we like it best when you can come in so we can visit. Medical Arts Pharmacy, the pharmacist next door. 2102 Pecos, 325-949-4636.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. We will head into the top half of the 6th with our score. It's Levelland 3, Lakeview 2. The Chiefs are 9-5 on the season, while for the Lobos, they are 8-10 in this district action from Lakeview Field. Brogdon will lead off for Levelland. He'll be followed by Pena and then Gillian, 9-1-2 in the Lobos lineup. Working against relief pitcher Isaiah Cruz, he has retired 4 out of 5 batters he has faced, retired 4 Lobos hitters in a row. First pitch is fouled back to the screen behind home plate for Brogdon. He is 0 for 2 tonight, struck out twice in the 2nd and also in the 4th. Isaiah Cruz sends the pitch home. Fouled back to the screen, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, since we'll continue our tradition of baseball history, my friends, since we are in an educational environment, how about one of the great catchers of all time? 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. How about Gary Carter, the late great catcher Gary Carter? He spent his early years with the old Montreal Expos, then helped the New York Mets win the World Series in 1986. Actually, that World Series was called by Vince Scully in that epic series on NBC. Carter had 100 or more RBIs in a season 4 times in his great career. He hit 31 home runs for the Expos back in 1977. The 2-2 pitch, curveballs are called strike 3. That's a punch out for Isaiah Cruz. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout for Cruz. That's his first K of the night. 1 out, bases clean for Joe Pena. Pena in his last at-bat tripled the deep center field and scored. He has scored twice. He scored 2 out of the 3 runs in tonight's game. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. So Pena tonight walked, was left stranded at first, walked and scored in the 3rd, tripled the deep center, scored in the 4th. He is 1 for 1, has scored twice. The 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2. Gary Carter's number 8 jersey has been retired by the Montreal Expos and also by the New York Mets. The 2-0 pitch has popped out of play, third base side. He won the Gold Glove 3 times in his career. He was an 11-time All-Star and also a 5-time Silver Slugger. There's the 2-1 pitch. That hits Pena in the back. Pena will trot down the first base line. So for the Lobos, they have a runner on first, 1 out. Top half of the 6th score. It's Levelland 3, Lakeview 2. 3 runs on 4 hits, 3 errors, 7 runners left. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 5 runners left for the Lakeview Chiefs. This brings up Gillian, the left fielder. He was also hit by a pitch in the 4th. Infield hit single down the third base line, but was left stranded at third base in the 3rd. Struck out in the 1st inning. Runner on first, Penny with a good lead. There's the first pitch. It's a curveball, low and in, ball 1. Carter finished his great career with 324 home runs, 1,225 RBIs, and a .262 batting average. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swinging a ground ball up the middle, base hit into center field for Gillian. Pena advances to second base, hit number 5 for the Lobos in this contest. 1 out, runners on first and second for Blake Klaus. The center fielder, he is 1 for 3 tonight. His last at-bat hit an RBI single to right center field, was left stranded at second in the 4th, struck out in the 3rd, popped the first in the 1st. So he is 1 for 3 tonight. Runners on first and second, fastball sails up and away, ball 1. Levelland 3, Lakeview 2, top half of the 6th. 1 out, runners on first and second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, going back to that amazing 1986 season for the New York Mets, that was indeed a special season for them. They finished with 108 wins, led by Gary Carter. The 2-0 pitch is a curveball called strike, and only 54 losses. They were managed by Davey Johnson. Darryl Strawberry, baseball fans remember him. He had 27 dingers that year. The 2-1 pitch, that's lifted foul out of play. First base side, 2 balls and 2 strikes, and also pounded out 93 ribbies that season. Meanwhile, Carter had a terrific year. He had 24 home runs with 105 RBIs. Dwight Gooden, fastball pitcher, he was brilliant. The 2-2 pitch, a fastball is up and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Doc Gooden, nicknamed Doc, finished 17-6 with a 2.84 earned run average. Ron Darling was 15-6 with a 2.81 ERA. Sid Fernandez was 16-6 with a 3.52 earned run average. The 3-2 pitch is low, ball 4. That loads the bases for Levelland. Pena's at third. Gillian is at second. Klaus is at first for Rusty Johnson. Rusty Johnson, the catcher, walked in his last at-bat in the 4th, struck out twice in the 2nd and also in the 3rd. So it's a meeting on the mound with the Lakeview coach, new head coach Jace Hall. That's a quick meeting. He walks gingerly back to the third base side with our score, Levelland 3, Lakeview 2. Going back to that Mets season while we have a moment, the Mets, they defeated Houston in the National League Championship Series 4-2. Then defeated the Red Sox in the Epic World Series 4-3. Rusty Johnson, 0 for 2, had a walk tonight. There's the first pitch. That's a curveball called strike. So Isaiah Cruz, he's in a tight situation with 1 out. Top half of the 6th, his team down by a score of 3-2. Cruz from the stretch. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Gets away from Salgado. Advancing from third to home is Pena. That makes the score 4-2. The runners advance. Gillian goes to third. Klaus goes to second. What a one is to count. So that pitch gets away from the catcher, J.D. Salgado, goes to the backstop. Pena scores. That adds another run for Levelland, 4-2. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A fastball's blown away, backhanded by Salgado to his right. 2 balls and a strike. Baseball fans in particular, ask them what is perhaps the greatest game of all time. You'll get many answers. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball. Diving play by Bustamante. Throws over to first in time for the out. The run scores. Johnson with an RBI ground ball to the shortstop Bustamante. Gillian scores from third base. It's 5-2. Klaus remains at second base. So we have 2 outs. 2 runs been pushed across by Levelland. This brings up Tyler Morrow, the shortstop. Morrow is 1 for 2. Doubled to center field and scored in the second. Walked, was left stranded at second base in the third. Grounded out to Bustamante, the shortstop, in the fourth. So he is 1 for 2, scored a run. Runner on second base, 2 runs across in this frame. Curveballs are called strike at the inside half. When one talks to baseball fans about, perhaps just ask them, what is the greatest baseball game you've ever watched? Many people will say the 1975 Game 6 World Series, sidearm throw to first. Diving back to the bag is Blake Klaus. Fans will probably say that Cincinnati game against Boston in 1975 when Carlton Fisk hit that home run off the left field foul pole, but many other fans will probably say that 1986 comeback by the Mets. The 0-1 pitch is lifted into left field, which drops for a base hit. Klaus rounds third. He will score. The throw is cut off. The throw to first is not in time. An RBI single by Tyler Morrow. That scores another run. It's 6-2 Levelland. RBI single. Klaus scores from second base. So for Levelland, 6 runs on 6 hits in the game. This brings up Tyler Pembleton, the first baseman. Waves to that fastball, strike 1. So for Levelland in this 6th inning, they've scored 3 runs with 2 hits. Runner on first. The 1-0 pitch dropped by Salgado, but the runner holds at first. Morrow, 2 balls and no strikes. Pembleton today walked twice, flatted to the center fielder. Wyatt Henry back in the 5th. 6 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors for Levelland, 7 runners left in the game. 2-0 pitch grounded to third. That's ruled. He's ruled out. So Pembleton is ruled out on the play. So that will retire the side for the Lobos, and the 6th for Levelland. 3 runs on 2 hits, a runner left. We'll go into the last half of the 6th. Our score, it's Levelland 6 and Lakeview 2. We'll pause for a quick break. We'll be right back in just a moment. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
At Concho Bonds, we have an honest, friendly, and professional staff with over 40 years of experience. We understand that if you or a loved one needs our help, you want fast and efficient service that you can trust. That's why at Concho Bonds, we are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with easy payment plans, and we accept all major credit cards. Y habla español. At Concho Bonds, it is better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo Oro Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. Hey fans, we like to watch Concho Sports Network games on your television live in high definition. All you have to do is install the CSN Roku or Amazon Fire TV app. You can install them now on either device just by searching Concho Sports. We invite you to check it out for the best viewing experience. For the Chiefs, down by 4 runs in this latter half of the 6th, Jacob Chapa at the plate working on a 1-0 count. He fouls that one off, 1 ball and 1 strike. Chapa tonight, he is 1 for 2. He doubled the right center field on the first pitch back in the first, hit into a 4-6 fielder's choice in the third. Working against Joel Pena. Pena has retired 14 out of 23 Lakeview batters tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a curveball called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a count to Jacob Chapa. Chapa, an all-around athlete for Lakeview. Played quarterback last fall. Also wide receiver and running back. Led the team in rush touchdowns. The 1-2 pitch, curveball, swing and a miss. Chapa strikes out on a high inside fastball. That's the 5th punch out for Joel Pena. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. 1 out. Bases clean in the last half of the 6th. Levelland 6, Lakeview 2. 6 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors, 8 runners left for the Lobos. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 5 runners left for Lakeview. Alex Palacio is the left fielder. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Here's the first pitch. It's a curveball low and away, backhanded by Johnson to his right, ball 1. Going back to that epic 1986 World Series, my friends, Boston had a 5-3 lead in the top of the 10th. The 1-0 pitch, a fastball sails high and in, 2 balls and no strikes. But the Mets, they scored 3 runs with 2 outs to win the game, 6-5, in that bottom half of the 10th at the old Shea Stadium. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swinging a pop fly out of play, 2 balls and a strike. Speak about Shea Stadium in Flushing. That was in Flushing, New York. The New York Jets also played their games at old Shea Stadium. In that frame, how about this? Carter singled to left. We talked about Gary Carter earlier. The 2-1 pitch, the curveball's up and in. Then Kevin Mitchell singled to center. Ray Knight singled to center to score Carter, which made it 5-4. Then Boston throws a wild pitch. Mitchell scores to tie the game at 5. Then Mookie Wilson hit a ground ball past first base. Bill Buckner, that was a famous Bill Buckner play. The baseball just rolls underneath his glove down the first base line. Palacio walks on that pitch. 1 out, 1 walk in this last half of the 6th. Ray Knight scores from third. The Mets win that game 6-5 to even the series at 3 games apiece. So the coach for Levelland is coming out to the hill. Let's see if this will be just a conversation. Chris Portwood comes to the hill along with the rest of the Levelland infielders while we have a moment. Then the Mets won the World Series 2 days later on a Monday night, 8-5 in Shea Stadium. So Boston, they were only 1 out away from winning the World Series that year in 1986. But the Mets, with that improbable comeback, they defeat the Mets in Game 6 and also in Game 7. Vince Scully with the famous call on NBC that night. This brings up J.D. Salgado. He is 0 for 2 at the plate tonight. The first pitch is a fastball, a low and inside, ball 1. Salgado bounced out to the second baseman, Bacchus back in the second. Bounced to the shortstop, Morrow in the 4th. He is 0 for 2. So for Lakeview, down by a score of 6-2, last half of the 6th. The 1-0 pitch, a fastball, swing and a miss, 1 ball and a strike. 6 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors, 8 runners left for the Lobos. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 5 left for the Lakeview Chiefs at home. Here's the 1-1. Another fastball is low and away. 2 balls and a strike. So Gary Carter, one of the all-time greats at catcher. An amazing story about Gary Carter leading that 1986 Mets team to the World Series title. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball is outside. Runs the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Gary Carter, keep in mind, he started his career in Montreal. Of course, that team folded. You just could not get enough fans up there in Quebec. The 3-1 pitch, swinging the ground ball to the shortstop. Morrow, he bobbles that off his glove. That will be ruled an error. E6 for the Lobos shortstop. That's his second error of the game, error number 4 in the contest for Levelland. The Chiefs have runners at first and second. 1 out, bottom of the 6th our score, Levelland 6, Lakeview 2. There will be a pinch runner in there. Boothathon, Levelland Boothathon is the pinch runner at first base for Lakeview. This brings up right fielder Joseph Coffron. Coffron flied to right in the second, reached an error on the 4th. That's what we've been told as well, Boothathon, if you're checking there, my friends, at home. We also like to thank our great sports information staff at Lakeview High School. Here's the curveball for Coffron, is upstairs for ball 1. Talking about Montreal, they were unable to get fans pretty much for their games for the Expos because they were in constant competition with the Montreal Canadiens. The 1-0 pitch is a curveball, low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. It was said that whenever the Montreal Canadiens, the NHL team, one of the original 6 hockey teams, would play at the same time and date in comparison to the Montreal Expos, the Canadiens would draw more fans to their games in comparison to the Montreal Expos. 2 balls and a strike is the count. That was when the Canadiens had those great hockey teams, of course led by Stanley Bowman, the head coach, Ken Dryden, Guy Lafleur, all those great players, Steve Shutt. Here's the 2-1 pitch, a fastball is up and in. Runs the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. So for the Expos, that was heavy competition. The Canadiens outdrew the Montreal Expos fans, and unfortunately, due to that, the Expos had to leave town. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's a curveball called strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wyatt Henry waits on deck, the center fielder. Our score in the bottom half of the 6th, Levelland 6, Lakeview 2. 1 out. The Chiefs with runners on first and second. Joel Pena has worked the distance for the Lobos. He has struck out 5 batters, has allowed 2 runs on 3 hits in the game. The Chiefs have left 5 runners stranded. There's a 3-2 pitch, swinging the ground ball to the shortstop. Gets past Morrow into left field for a hit. Palacio rounds third. He will score. It's 6-3. Hit number 4 for the Lakeview Chiefs. An RBI single into left field. Runners on first and second for Lakeview. Boothathon is at second. This brings up Wyatt Henry. But another meeting on the mound. Appears that will be it for Joel Pena. So that's a call to the bullpen. New pitcher will be in the game for the Lobos. So with the break in the action, we'll take a short timeout. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex, 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
At San Angelo ISD, we believe that students are more than just a test score.
We value the hopes and dreams of each child.
And work diligently to enhance student learning and reduce achievement gaps.
To produce future-ready graduates.
No matter what that future might look like.
By honoring each student's unique strengths and supporting their individual needs, we celebrate all the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways. Todas las formas.
All the ways.
We celebrate all the ways our students are smart.
Hey, I'm open.
At VGI Technology, our mission is to connect and protect our communities using innovative technologies while providing an exceptional customer experience. Everyone on our team took part in creating this mission statement, and everyone on our team is committed to stand by every word. So for your home and office internet, security, cameras, and smart technology, call on your neighbors at locally owned VGI. VGI, to connect and protect.
Tyler Pemberton is the new pitcher for Levelland. Hale is the new first baseman. Isaac Martinez goes to third. This brings up Wyatt Henry. Henry is 0 for 3 for Lakeview tonight. On the first pitch, it's a curveball low and inside, ball 1. So for Lakeview, runners on first and second. Boothethong is at second. He's the courtesy runner. Carfron is at first with an RBI single. That scored Palacio. It's 6-3. Levelland on top of Lakeview in this bottom half of the 6th with 1 out. Chop bunt foul. 1 ball and a strike to Wyatt Henry. So Henry trying to get off the schneid tonight with this 0 for 3 performance. So Joe Pena tonight retired 15 out of 27 batters. Pitched in 5 1/3 innings. Allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, 5 Ks, 2 walks in the contest. He pitched well but struggled in the last half of the 6th. Pemberton is a left-hander. Henry squares up the bunt. The pitch is outside, 2 balls and a strike. Cade Henry, the older brother, waits on deck. So for Lakeview in this game, 3 runs on 4 hits. They've left 5 stranded. For Levelland, 6 runs on 6 hits, 4 errors. They have left 8 stranded in the contest. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Curveball is up and away, 3 balls and a strike. So for Lakeview in this frame, Chapa let it off. He struck out. Palacio walked and scored. Salgado reached base on the air by the shortstop Morrow. Curveball's high and away. Ball 4. The bases are loaded for Lakeview. This is a golden opportunity for the Chiefs to get back into this game, down by 3, 6-3. This brings up Cade Henry. Henry, in his last at-bat, struck out in the 5th, grounded to third in the 3rd, was hit by a pitch in the 1st. So Cade Henry searching for a hit in the big way. That is a Medical Arts Pharmacy walk in this bottom half of the 6th. Our score, Levelland 6, Lakeview 3. Tyler Pemberton is the new pitcher, replaces Joel Pena. Boothethong is at third. Carfron is at second. Down to trail at first is Wyatt Henry. For older brother, Cade Henry takes a strike on the first pitch. 6-3 our score. Levelland up by 3. A single by Cade Henry could bring in 2 runs. The Chiefs will be right back in it on this Tuesday evening in district action. Here's the 0-1. That is inside. Almost hit Cade Henry. 1 ball and 1 strike gets the count. Isaiah Cruz waits on deck for Lakeview. Golden opportunity for the Chiefs in this bottom half of the 6th. Here's the 1-1. Curveball's a called strike, a beauty of a pitch there by Tyler Pemberton. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. 1 out for Levelland. They are looking for the double play to get out of the side. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss off the curveball. Kid Henry strikes out. That's a big out there. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. 2 outs in the frame, a big out. Bases loaded. This brings up Isaiah Cruz. Cruz, he is 0 for 3, struck out in his last at-bat in the 5th. Grounded to third in the 3rd. Reached on a 7-5-2 fielder's choice, scored in the 1st. Isaiah Cruz searching for his first hit of the game. On the first pitch, he hits a pop fly. Foul ground first base side that bends foul out of play, giving Chase Johnson the catcher. So for Lakeview, this is a critical situation. Bottom half of the 6th, bases loaded. Down by 3, 6-3. 6 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors, 8 runners left for the Lobos. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 5 left for Lakeview. Here's the 0-1. That's a pop fly. Right-sided infield. Bacchus is there. Makes the catch to retire to side. Lakeview, they lead the bases loaded. In the 6th, they score 1 run on 1 hit. Leave 3 runners left. At the end of 6 runs scored, Levelland 6, Lakeview 3. We'll pause for a quick timeout. This is Lakeview Chiefs football on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
At Medical Arts, your pharmacists are still people who know you. We care about you and your family. That's a relationship that can be helpful to you in so many ways. We're glad to offer curbside pickup anytime it's easier for you to stay in the car. We still proudly offer home delivery, as we have since 1957. But we admit, we like it best when you can come in so we can visit. Medical Arts Pharmacy, the pharmacist next door. 2102 Pecos, 325-949-4636.
At Concho Bonds, we have an honest, friendly, and professional staff with over 40 years of experience. We understand that if you or a loved one needs our help, you want fast and efficient service that you can trust. That's why at Concho Bonds, we are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, with easy payment plans, and we accept all major credit cards. Y habla español. At Concho Bonds, it is better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. We're looking ahead there, Shay, thinking about football season. Of course, it is baseball season at the moment. I was thinking, I was telling Shay at the timeout, we're thinking about NFL free agency and all that great stuff. But for the Chiefs, down by a score of 6-3, here's Jerry Hale. On the first pitch, takes a curveball called strike. Hale will be followed by Bacchus, and then Brogdon, 7, 8, and 9 against Isaiah Cruz. Cruz has retired 6 out of 12 batters in relief of starting pitcher Cade Henry. Cade Henry has pitched 3 2/3 innings, has allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. The 0-1 hops in front of the plate, blocked by J.D. Salgado. Count runs to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 6 runs on 6 hits, 4 errors, 8 runners left, 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 8 runners left for Lakeview. They left the bases jammed in that bottom half of the 6. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count to Jerry Hale, who tonight grounded out to the shortstop Bustamante in the 5th, fly to left in the 3rd, and struck out in the 2nd. 3 balls, 2 strikes is the count to Jerry Hale. Well-played game, but Levelland with 4 errors in the contest. Fly ball into left field. Running in is the left fielder, Palacio, for out number 1. So Hale flies out the left, 7 unassisted for the Lakeview defense. 1 out in the top half of the 7th. This brings up Wyatt Bacchus, the second baseman. Bacchus is 0 for 3. Reached base on an error, committed back in the 2nd inning. Grounded out the 3rd in the 4th, and bounced out the short in the 5th. 1-0 is the count to Wyatt Bacchus. Isaiah Cruz working on the bottom half of the Lobos lineup. 1-0 pitch is low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. We talked about Willie Mays earlier. In this month, in March, 49 years ago, Willie Mays, in an exhibition game played in Puerto Rico, he subbed for manager Yogi Berra. He led the Mets to an 8-3 win over the Pirates 49 years ago, back in 1973. That was his last season playing in Major League Baseball. The 3-0 pitch goes to the backstop for ball 4. A one-out walk to Backus. This brings up the right fielder, Dylan Brogdon. Brogdon is 0-for-3 tonight. Struck out all 3 times. Struck out on the called third strike back in the 6th. He struck out swinging in the 4th and also in the 2nd. Meeting on the mound once again with the first-year head coach, Jace Hall, a graduate of Friendship High School. Played his junior college at Clarendon College and also his university ball at the University of the Southwest. Had a chance to talk to Coach Hall earlier before our broadcast. He was very pleased about his young players' performance this season. He said he's happy to be here at Lakeview High School. 1-on-1 out in the top half of the 7th. Going back to Willie Mays, he will turn 91 this upcoming May. He had a Hall of Fame career from 1951 to 1973. Snap throw to first. Backus dives back to the bag, ball 1. Mays cranked out 660 home runs in his legendary career, 1,903 RBIs. He had a .302 career batting average. He is from Mobile, Alabama. Great part of the state of Alabama. Near the beach, here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a curveball called strike. Count is even at 1-1 strike. In reading his book, he had an epic story, an unbelievable story that he had to go through as a youngster with his parents. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's lifted foul down the third base side. And he said that baseball was able to get him out of poverty and also to get him out of segregation, because at that time, boy, oh boy, Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi, deep-rooted ills of segregation, and he was blessed, he said, to be able to play baseball to get out of that situation. Of course, played for the New York Giants as a 20-year-old. He played in the Negro Leagues. Time has been called. 1-2 strikes just to count to Dylan Brogdon. Of course, if you ever have a chance to go, my friends, to the Hall of Fame, unbelievable. In Cooperstown, been there several times. Also, had a chance to go to the Negro League Hall of Fame in Kansas City, Missouri. My sister is a huge baseball fan. She actually met Buck O'Neil before he passed away when she was a scholar at Indiana State. Incredible story. There's the 1-2 pitch. Brogdon strikes out on the called third strike. 2 outs. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. Good pitch there by Isaiah Cruz. 2 outs in this top half of the 7th. That's the second punch out for Isaiah Cruz. This brings up Joel Pena. She always talks about that story, going to that Hall of Fame in Kansas City, the Negro League Hall of Fame, about the museum there, and also talked about the barbecue and all that stuff. Here's the first pitch to Pena. Is a curveball outside, so highly recommend go to Cooperstown and also to Kansas City to see the iconic sights of baseball. Very wonderful. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a curveball called strike. 1-1 strike. I always ask my sister, I said, Teresa, who's your favorite player? She always talks about Buck O'Neil. She always think about, Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, Bonds, the greats, but no, she always says Buck O'Neil. Here's the 1-1 pitch, goes to the backstop, gets past Salgado. Backus trots down to second base. 2 balls and a strike is the count. They did air a wonderful special on Buck O'Neil, talking about that baseball series we talked about earlier. It was called Shadow Ball, the Ken Burns documentary. The 2-1 pitch, that is outside, 3 balls and 1 strike, mostly about the Negro Leagues for the 1940s and the 1950s. Very iconic story. If you have a chance to watch that, I highly encourage especially young baseball fans and also sports fans alike to watch that documentary. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's fouled out of play. First base side, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Last season, during the Angelo State baseball season, Shay was talking to Nick Saginowicz. He's from Vancouver, British Columbia, star player for Angelo State, for the catcher. And he told me is that in Canada, they did not talk much about the history of baseball. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fly ball to right field. Catch is made by Carfron. 40 out to retire the side. So for Levelland in the top half of the 7th, no runs on no hits. The runner was left stranded at second base, Bacchus, and no errors. We'll go into the last half of the 7th. So for Lakeview, they have one more chance. They need to score 3 to tie, 4 to win. We'll take a short break. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex, 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
Welcome back to Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media. This brings up Bustamante for Lakeview. The Chiefs with one more opportunity in this last half of the 7th, down by a count of 6-3. For Levelland in this game, 6 runs on 6 hits, 4 errors, 8 runners left. And for the Chiefs, 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 8 runners left. The Chiefs left the bases loaded in that last half of the 6th, which was the key part of the game. 1 ball and 1 strike gets the count to Bustamante, who tonight reached base on an error committed by the third baseman. Back in the 5th, that was Hale at the time, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and singled to right center field and scored in the 1st. Bustamante and Cruz scored in the 1st. Palacio scored in the 6th for Lakeview, down by 3 in this district matchup. The 1-1 pitch, that's poked foul. Wide of 3rd, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right before the break, we talked about what Willie Mays and also those epic players in baseball. Had a great conversation with perhaps one of the greatest pitchers and also players in Angelo State, Nick Saginowicz, who has since graduated. The 1-2 pitch, a curveball is low and inside, and we had a long conversation about, we talked about baseball history and Jackie Robinson. He's from British Columbia, and one thing he said really striking, he said, Doc, he said, growing up in British Columbia, we really didn't have a chance to talk much about the history of baseball. Bustamante strikes out on that low inside curveball. Punch out for Tyler Pembleton. That's a Medical Arts Pharmacy strikeout. For Pembleton, that will be his 2nd K of the game. 1 out. Base is empty in the last half of the 7th. This brings up first baseman Oscar Oberjon. Oberjon in the game. He grounded out to short in his last at-bat in the 5th. Single to right in the 3rd. Walked, was left stranded at 3rd base in the 1st. The Chiefs are down to their final 2 outs. Here's the first pitch, a curveball up and away. And then I sent Nick Saginowicz a clip, the actual Howard Cosell video, the speech that Cosell made in Buffalo, New York back in 1974 about sports media. There's a 1-hopper to the second baseman Bacchus. Gets past him, side him throw to first. In time for the out. beats him by a half step. So Bacchus, fine play on the one hopper, backhands it to his right, bobbles it, gets past him, throws on the first in time for the out. Fine look at that instant replay. So for the Chiefs, down to their final out on this Tuesday, it's Levelland 6, Lakeview 3. This brings up Jacob Chapa, the second baseman. Chapa is 1 for 3 tonight. Struck out swinging in his last at-bat in the 6th. The first pitch, he takes a curveball low for ball 1. Chapa reached on a 4-6 fielder's choice in the 3rd. Double to right center field rather. In the 1st was left stranded at the second base bag. Swinging a ground ball to the third baseman, Isaac Martinez. Bobbles, throws the first, is wild, offline. That's an error. Air charge to the third baseman. That is the 5th error on the night for Levelland. So Jacob Chapa reached base on a 2-out error committed by the third baseman, Isaac Martinez. This brings up Palacio, the left fielder. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded the first. Pena on the comebacker back in the 1st to return to side. Bounced to the shortstop Morrow in the 4th. Walked and scored in the 6th. 0 for 2 with a run scored. Jacob Chapa, he is very fast, especially if one is able to watch him during football season. He was the / quarterback, running back, wide receiver for the Lakeview Chiefs. Led the team in touchdowns. He could go to 3rd on a single. The first pitch is a curveball, which is upstairs, ball 1. The Chiefs are down to their final out. 6 runs, 6 hits, 5 errors, 8 runners left for Levelland. Appears to be a balk. Will be charged to Pembleton, so Chapa will go to second base. The Chiefs have a runner in scoring position at second base. 1-0 is the count to the Lakeview left fielder, Palacio, searching for his first hit of the game. The 7th hitter in the team lineup, swinging the chopper to the shortstop, Morrow. Picks up, fires over to first, in time for the out. A fine throw by the Lobos shortstop to retire to side to end the game. So for Lakeview in the 7th, no runs on 1 hit, error charged by the third baseman, a runner left Chapa at second base. The final score, Levelland 6, Lakeview 3. The final numbers, Levelland 6 runs on 6 hits, 5 errors, 8 runners left. The winning pitcher is Joe Pena. For Lakeview, 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 8 runners left. The losing pitcher, Cade Henry, he drops to 3-1. We'll take a short timeout. We'll come back with our post-game show. This is Lakeview Chiefs Baseball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media.
At San Angelo ISD, we believe that students are more than just a test score.
We value the hopes and dreams of each child.
And work diligently to enhance student learning and reduce achievement gaps.
To produce future-ready graduates.
No matter what that future might look like.
By honoring each student's unique strengths and supporting their individual needs, we celebrate all the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways.
All the ways. Todas las formas.
All the ways.
We celebrate all the ways our students are smart.
Hey, I'm open.
At VGI Technology, our mission is to connect and protect our communities using innovative technologies while providing an exceptional customer experience. Everyone on our team took part in creating this mission statement, and everyone on our team is committed to stand by every word. So for your home and office internet, security, cameras, and smart technology, call on your neighbors at locally owned VGI. VGI, to connect and protect.
At Medical Arts, your pharmacists are still people who know you. We care about you and your family. That's a relationship that can be helpful to you in so many ways. We're glad to offer curbside pickup anytime it's easier for you to stay in the car. We still proudly offer home delivery, as we have since 1957. But we admit, we like it best when you can come in, so we can visit. Medical Arts Pharmacy, the pharmacist next door. 2102 Pecos, 325-949-4636.
Welcome to the Pixelcast Media post-game report. The final score from Lakeview Field. Levelland, 6 runs on 6 hits, 5 errors, 8 runners left. And for Lakeview, 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 9 runners left. So for the Chiefs, we have the final numbers here for you, my friends. For the home team, Wyatt Henry, the center fielder, finished 0 for 3 with a walk. Cade Henry, the older brother, the starting pitcher, 0 for 3 in the game. Isaiah Cruz, the third baseman, finished 0 for 4. The shortstop, Nico Bustamante, was 0 for 3. The first baseman, Oscar Obergen, was 1 for 3 in today's game with a walk. Jacob Chapa, the second baseman, was 1 for 4 tonight. Left fielder Alex Palacio was 0 for 3, scored a run in the game. J.D. Salgado, the catcher, finished 0 for 3. Right fielder Joseph Cafran was 1 for 3 in the game. Pena was the winning pitcher in the game. Pena pitched 5 1/3 innings, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, retired 15 out of 27 batters. The losing pitcher tonight, Cade Henry, he drops to 3-1, pitched 3 2/3 innings, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. For Levelland, Joel Pena finished 1 for 2 with 3 runs scored. He was the star player of the game. Gillian, the left fielder, was 2 for 3 tonight, scored a run. Klaus, the center fielder, was 1 for 3, scored a run in the 6th. Rusty Johnson, the catcher, was 0 for 3. Morrow, the shortstop, was 2 for 3, scored a run. Pemberton, the first baseman, was 0 for 2, came in relief work in the late part of the game. Jerry Hale, the third baseman, was 0 for 4 tonight. Wyatt Backus, the second baseman, was 0 for 2. Brogdon, the right fielder, was 0 for 4 in the game. So for Levelland, with the win, they have 6 runs, finished with 6 runs in the game, 6 runs on 6 hits, 5 errors, 8 runners left overall with the win. And the Lakeview Chiefs, with the loss, they dropped to 3 runs on 4 hits in the game, no errors, and 5 runners left. The next broadcast of Lakeview Girls Softball on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media, is scheduled for this Friday, March 25th. It will be the Maidens against Big Spring this Friday at 5 o'clock. Live on Concho Sports Network, a production of Pixelcast Media in district play. So once again, my friends, the final score from Lakeview Field. Lakeview, they lose. They drop to 9-6 on the year. 2-2 in district play, while for Levelland with the win, they improved to 9-10 on the year, 2-2 in district action. Levelland with the road win with 6 runs, 6 hits, 5 errors, 8 runners left, and for Lakeview, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 9 runners left. The key facet of the game, Lakeview, they left the bases loaded in the last half of the 6th. We'd like to thank our producer, director, and the owner of Pixelcast Media, Concho Sports Network, Mr. Shea Harris. This is Dr. Herman Howard. Thank you so much for watching from Lakeview High School. Once again, the final score, 6-3, Levelland defeats Lakeview. Thank you for watching, and good night, my friends.